So here we are in Jericho. Herod the Great, who slaughtered Bethlehem's boys during Jesus' childhood, died here. After his death, a conflict erupted over who should take the throne in his place. None of the choices was good. Archelaus, frontrunner amongst his brothers, was particularly disliked. During a Passover celebration in the same year that Herod died, Archelaus responded to those who objected to his claim to rule by slaughtering 3,000 Jews. Because Archelaus needed to secure Rome's approval to be crowned king, he travelled to Rome to meet with Caesar. However, he wasn't the only one headed for Rome. A delegation of 50 Jewish diplomats opposed to his reign was also sent to Rome to petition Caesar against electing this bloodthirsty villain as their king. All of this would have been ringing in the ears of those sitting around the table at the house of Zacchaeus as Jesus delivers his final parable before his death. Luke chapter 19, verse 12. A nobleman went to a faraway country to receive for himself a kingdom and then return. Luke 19 tells us that the people hanging out at Zacchaeus' repentance party were under the impression that the kingdom was about to appear. It was this belief that prompted the parable. Jesus was heading for Jerusalem, a place promised to the Jews but currently overrun by Romans, and the Jews had just heard that deliverance had come to a son of Abraham, Zacchaeus. In Genesis chapter 22, God had promised that the sons of Abraham would possess the gates of their enemies. And so, the people get it into their head that Jesus is going up to Jerusalem in order to kick some Roman butt and reclaim the city for Israel. But when Jesus does enter Jerusalem, on a donkey in the next passage, he doesn't head for the Antonio fortress. He heads straight for the temple to kick some Jewish butt in Luke chapter 19, verses 45 and 46. The main players in the parable are the nobleman, his servants, and the local citizens. The nobleman's servants are given the responsibility to make money for him while he's away, Luke 19:14. But the citizens hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, "We do not want this man to reign over us." Is Jesus pitching himself as the nobleman? I don't think so. It seems more likely that Jesus is bringing the recent events of Archelaus to mind, and that the people in this parable are being warned that what happened in the days of Archelaus was going to happen to them if they didn't stop thrashing against Rome, something that had already led to a growing pile of Jewish bodies. Luke 19:27. But as for these enemies of mine, who did not want me to reign over them, bring them here and slaughter them before me. Jesus doesn't come into town with a sword, as Archelaus did. Instead, Jesus comes with tears. His ministry had not been about slaying his enemies, but about seeking and saving the lost. Moreover, it was not the servants who were killed for mishandling finance, but the citizens. By consciously bringing up recent history, Jesus seems to be saying, "You've been down this road before, and it didn't end well. The truth is, you don't want anyone to reign over you. Your rebellion runs deep." The parable foreshadows a judgment, but it's not Jesus versus Rome. It's Rome versus the Jews. Rome is going to execute God's judgment on a citizenry who has rejected their king. Luke 19:25. I tell you that everyone who has will be given more, but the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away from him. Israel's rebellion against Rome and the subsequent slaughter, which did in fact come to pass, is a shadow of where you are headed fully and finally when you reject the King of Kings. But first, and this is embedded in everything that Jesus has been saying about himself, first there will be another slaughter. There will be a son of Abraham and Isaac who will be stretched out on an altar of wood and slain. In giving this parable and then going up to thrash the temple, Jesus is not only foreshadowing Israel's slaughter, but he is also setting up his own. To those like Zacchaeus who welcome the king, more would be given, but to those who have not and would not receive his kingdom, even what they had would be taken away. And what was true then is still true today.